of any of the hijinks with Greg Maddux? He's legendary for the hijinks.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen it. I've seen it all. I mean, things that happen maybe in the shower, or things that he does to people in the locker room, or like he would. We would, every time we'd go golfing somewhere, if we didn't have a car service, Smoltz would rent a car and he would drive. And Maddux found it really fun anytime we were driving around in New York City or somewhere like that. If, you're stopped at a light and you got the throng of people coming across the street in the crosswalk, Greg would reach over from the passenger seat and lay on the horn. And of course, everybody's looking at John and flipping John off and, stuff like that. So Greg, most of Greg's stuff was fairly innocent, but, you absolutely had to have your head on a swivel around Greg, because there was no telling what he was going to do.
That's a new one. I didn't hear the
car one. Andrew Jones obviously said avoid the shower and avoid the sanitaries.
Yes.
Yeah, and I saw him. I'll give you one, and he probably won't be happy. But we were in spring training, and Walt Weiss's locker was next to mine in spring training, and his locker was next to mine in Atlanta. And it was like the last 2 or 3 days of spring training. Greg went to the bathroom and came back and grabbed one of Walt's T-shirts and used it to clean himself, and put it back in Walt's locker. So we get back to Atlanta for the start of the year, and like the second day we're back, Walt comes in from batting practice, and he's got this look on his face, and I'm like, Walt, what's wrong? And he's like, something in my locker smells like shit. It's like something stinks. So he's rummaging around, and I'm laughing because I know what happened. And, I'm not saying anything. And sure enough, Walt finds a T-shirt, and then the first thing out of his mouth is Maddux. He wanted to kill him. So that was not out of the question for Greg.
Hey, don't mess with Walt Weiss, dude. He's like a jiu-jitsu black belt badass. Like, he will fuck you up.
Did anyone ever try and mess with Maddux then? Like, or get him, well, not even just get him back, but like actually get pissed off? Or did you have to explain, like, he does this to everyone, he's got seniority, just let it happen, move on, and he'll pick on the next person?
I think the only guy that I ever saw do it in a serious way was Darren Holmes. We got Darren Holmes in a trade one year, and he came over, and it was like right after the first game, and we were in the shower, and I remember him turning to Maddux and saying, essentially, I don't give a shit who you are. You do anything to me in here, I'm going to drop you. And that was the only guy that I really ever saw that kind of confronted Greg about it. I think everybody else just tried to avoid it.
Dude, Darren Holmes, like a nice guy. He's still coaching too.
Yeah,
he's still coaching in the big leagues.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a super nice guy.
He heard the rumors and he was like, "Not me."
Wait, remember we had Smoltz on, okay? And Smoltz said he was better to be the helper, right? The aide.
Yes.
So he would always try to be the associate. He would distract the guy, because then he knew Maddux wouldn't get him. So he was always on the lookout to be the associate, so it wouldn't happen to him. That's a smart play by Smoltz.
Of course, yeah. He tried to stay out of it. But listen, Smoltz was every bit the prankster. Maybe not as gross as Greg. But listen, Smoltz was not going to let an opportunity to mess with you go by. I can tell you that.